You're all set.
All right. Happy Saturday, everybody. Good morning. My name is Chante Brown. I am a division director from Good Shepherd Services, Bronx, New York. And I have my colleague with me.
Hi, good morning. My name is José Cordero, and I work at South Brooklyn and East Brooklyn.
All right. And we are Good Shepherd Services. So we're excited to talk to you today. Of course, we talked about the importance of belonging. So a little bit about Good Shepherd. We have over 90 programs. We are located in Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan. We support over 30,000 children and families. We are in the areas of New York City that are most at need. Our mission, we are guided by social and racial justice. Good Shepherd Services, we partner and grows with communities so that all New York City children, youth, and families succeed and thrive.
There we go. So a little bit about Good Shepherd Services. We have been serving families and youth for over 35 years. We serve over 4,000 elementary and middle school students within our 21 programs located in Brooklyn and Bronx. And our programs operate 5 days a week, 3 hours each day. And we have basically Compass, Sonic, Beacon, and Cornerstone programs.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit about our approach. And so we integrate it into our practice model. We infuse the circle of courage. Some of you folks might be aware of Circle of Courage, but Circle of Courage is a Native American philosophy towards youth development. And at its core, it focuses on belonging, independence, generosity, and mastery. Circle of Courage provides us with the common language, rituals, and framework whenever we are facilitating our activities and holding culminating events. So this picture here is a great example of Circle of Courage, where all throughout the year, we will work on dance classes, salsa classes, and then we have our annual salsa event. And there our children demonstrate belonging, independence, feeling like they mastered the moves, and really generous and generosity of sharing this with the community. So this is a great example of Circle of Courage in action.
All day, it's a party. Woo! Now, of course, as after school providers, as youth providers, we all know that we're starting back. We're integrating back. And the big question is, how in the world are we going to do this at this time? Like, what do you do? Do you say, hey, kids, on your first day of program, here's this math program, here's this math lesson? Or we decided we're not going to do that. We're going to focus on social emotional intelligence, and we are going to use our Circle of Courage model. We have 4 quadrants. It doesn't matter what activities we're doing, the curriculums we follow. We have 4 things that we do. 1, belonging. This provides an opportunity to establish trust and connections. Our kids, they need to feel like they belong. They need positive relationships, a way of connection as human beings. My favorite, we focus on mastery. So this could be anything from, of course, STEM to dancing to music. We really work with children to find out what they're good at. We study it. We have programs, goals. We really, really try to align with that. Also, generosity. The beautiful thing is, once our kids, they're belonging, they're forming this mastery, now they're able to give to the community, give to others. We do that through our showings, through our shows, through our youth councils, different activities to kind of spread out this generosity. Independence, of course, you have all of these things going on. Now you're really able to have self-esteem where you can take on leadership group roles. You can build up this self-control and have this sense of responsibility. We're excited, but of course we can't do all of these things in the summer. So we're going to focus on one thing. Jose, what you got?
So we are focusing on belonging. We feel like this principle or this tenet is the most important right now. we have been through this pandemic, this COVID pandemic, but in reality, there's been multiple pandemics, such as the racial injustice that's been happening, the economic pandemic. And so here we are, it's multi-layered, and our youth and families are in need of wanting and feeling belong to a place or to a program. And so here we are focusing on belonging as its main tenet. And with that, we are going to, move into from virtual programming into in-person programming. We haven't seen our families or children that often, so we are excited about that. We are looking at ways to really infuse social emotional learning, or SEL, as some of us call it. We're looking at mindfulness as well. We're looking at trauma. How does trauma impact the work that we have been in doing for the past year? And so we feel belonging is the most important tenet right now. And then from there, we could go into independence, generosity, and mastery. And two of those, activities we're thinking of doing again is called Speak Up Project, which Chante could talk a little bit about, and I'll talk about the Vibe program.
So we did a crazy thing during the pandemic. I mean, we're always doing crazy good things. But in the middle of the pandemic, we decided to gather up over 100 middle school and high school, middle school teens together, high school teens, we got them all together. And because we decided in this pandemic, youth, they need the opportunity to express. They need a voice. This whole time they've been silent. So we got kids together and we say, hey, what is your voice right now? What are you saying? What do you want? And we realized that we didn't have to beg these children. These children, they came together just to get on video and speak about what's happening with their lives, with their families. And then what we realized is it started to be 100 kids, 115 kids who came together twice per day on a virtual basis just to talk and express and do gorgeous like 3-minute TikTok videos about the pandemic in their own lives. The cool part is we were able to eventually come together outside social distancing, and that was a beautiful moment. We want to do that again.
And our Vibe program actually was the reallocation of NYPD funds towards MAP, the Mayor's Action Plan, over at our Mickey O Cornerstone. And within this project in particular, we focused on media arts. And we took the pandemic COVID and asked our young teens and asked them, how is this impacting you? And together throughout a 6-week course, they were able to learn about media and also come up with their own music video and lyrics and what have you. And so for that, we are grateful for that. And, we were able to pull in our young folks and with their talents to showcase a music video, which again, it took about 6 weeks to plan and create. And so that was some ways we're looking for this summer to really start again for the summer.
All right. And of course, this is our information. If you want some sunshine, some suggestions, or this is where you can find us, we would love to find out what you're doing as well to see how, because we're all a little bit nervous, right? But we're all so excited. We're finally back in the game. So I guess we open this up for questions.
And I had also posed a question in the chat to the audience, like how are you going to connect and engage with students this summer, whether it's through resiliency, positive youth development, trauma-informed lens, SEL, and or mindfulness. So we're open for questions, but also interested to hear from you as well.
Can you put the contact info back on the screen? Of course.
And perhaps we could share the PowerPoint with other folks, we could email Aaron and everyone else and they could circulate if that makes the most sense.
Also, maybe I can go into an activity to see what the activity will look like in the Circle of Courage. So the cool thing is we have this in the Circle of Courage with our tenants. We have the animals, the 4 areas. We have the animals. And the animals really specify our strengths and weaknesses. So for example, if you're both people, you may be someone who likes control and power, right? And so you may have this 8-year-old girl who's control and power, they call her bossy. So so we say, no, you're not bossy. You just like control, power, attitude, whatever. So let's hook you up with other buffaloes in the world, right? So we find other personalities of, so now we can say, here's your strengths and weaknesses, right? So now you have an eagle. An eagle maybe is someone, so that child may identify the child who's always head is in the clouds, can never focus, can never focus. That's okay. They're dreaming, they're eagles. So maybe they need to be with other eagles to express in that. What is it like to dream and come together? Oh, and now they're meeting a buffalo. A buffalo, you know what? Eagle, you're wasting my time. You're a dreamer too much. But you know what? The buffalo needs the dreamer, because the eagle can stop the buffalo and say, this is how we can create something bigger. And the buffalo now can be in charge of that and move. So we have these activities, we have like construction buildings where now we put all of the animal traits together and we see how beautifully we can work together. And it's a gorgeous way of saying, instead of saying, you do this wrong, you do this wrong, that's who you are. Let's see how we work with it. So that's a little bit of what that activity looks like.
And I see someone in the chat ask about the 4 areas, so I'll repeat them again. It's belonging, independence, generosity, and mastery. And we feel that with belonging, it is the most critical tenet or area to focus on. And it's taken from a Native American tribe. And so it really focuses on a medicine wheel that says these are the 4 quadrants we all need to kind of be successful in. And in youth development, right now, we're going to focus on belonging. We all feel the need to belong. And so I just wanted to just make sure we answer that question that is in the chat.
Mm-hmm. And the thing with supporting youth, they also say when something is broken within the circle, that's how distortment happens. So our job definitely at Good Shepherd is to make sure that the circle is constantly happening. It's constantly within will and rotation. I don't know about y'all, but I'm excited for the summer. Is anybody excited? What are you guys doing for programming? Like, come on, we got our kids again. We're not spaced out. Like, ooh. I don't know y'all, but I want a good party. How do we plan to, oh.
So what that looks like on the ground, it's really, you know, we're all trying to figure out from DY City, what is this summarizing? Let's be honest here. And so we're trying to work with our principals, our stakeholders, and our directors and line staff to say, well, what will the schedule look like? What does Circle of Courage belonging looks like during the daytime when we're wrapping around programming? What does it look like for the enrichment activities in the after school portion of the day? So those are the things we're working out now. And then, of course, we have to train our staff. We have to get them familiar with this language, like what is belonging, independence, generosity, mastery? Where did it come from? What does a broken spirit mean, right? And then how do you layer on the animals that go with these totem animals? And so with those things, those are trainings that really works with the staff to really get a common language and rituals in place. So we're starting now, you know, to get that going, but that's kind of like the beginning stages of what the summer will look like.
Oh, yeah.
Does anyone have any other questions or comments? Everyone's ready for lunch.
There we go. I hear you.
Well, thank you for letting us share, guys. Thank you for letting us share. And also, but we just want to encourage you, if you want to reach out, have any questions about belonging activities, how do we engage? We're here. So we're going to give you good vibes, give us good vibes. Happy Saturday. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And if you have information you want to send our way to put in the folder for the participants, we can certainly do that for you.
Wonderful. Thank you.
All right. So we are going to move on